Welcome to In Conversation with Himali. Today with me is Dr. Falguni Basavda Oza, who is a professor and a chair strategic marketing area at MICA, which is Mudra Institute of Communications, Ahmedabad. She is a double gold medalist with over 2 decades of teaching experience in the area of marketing and advertising. She runs online programs in the area of advertising management and public relations, marketing and brand management for working professionals, an advocate for self-love. Dr. Falguni Basavda Oza is breaking stereotypes of gender and body type by declaring plus size to be beautiful on social media. Welcome, Dr. Falguni, and thank you so much for agreeing to grace my channel. Although I have tried my best to cover as much as I can in the introduction, but I know I haven't been able to do justice. Could you kindly share a little bit more about yourself, please?
Surely, I think thank you so much for having me over. It's a mutual delight to share thoughts with you on your
Thank you.
forum. And I think you have done enough justice to my introduction, but let me add some personal, side to the introduction. So I've been teaching now since 23 years. I am a doctorate in advertising. So my areas of expertise in teaching and research belong to the broad area of marketing, advertising, branding, social media, and very, very proud to be in this field where your wallets may be half full, but your heart is always over full, because that's what
Lovely.
the truly, teaching is all about, right? So that's
Absolutely.
the first hat that I wear as a full-time professional and academician. The second hat that I wear is I am a TEDx speaker. I have given TEDx talks on body positivity, internalizing happiness, and breaking stereotypes. The third hat, as you rightly said, because I am a plus size woman, I want to break stereotypes of what it means to look good, what is fashion, mean to people, and how everybody today, right? Not only plus size, but irrespective of your body type and your skin color and your height and your weight, I think confidence should come from within. So I'm a proud fashionista and a fashion blogger trying to break stereotypes and influence that young teenager sitting in a school or in a college, that there is much more to her than just how she looks or how he looks. So that's the third hat that I wear, that I'm a body positivity blogger. I am a social media avid person and an enthusiast, and I have a good presence across Twitter, Instagram. So you can say that I'm a micro influencer as well on social media. Absolutely a family loving person, and I absolutely love both sides of my life. That is, one is your personal life, where also you learn unlearn a lot and where also you have a lot of space to break stereotypes, right, as a
True.
gender equality forum. And on the other side is my profession and my causes which I'm passionate about, which is body positivity and gender equality. So I think as we go ahead, maybe my answers will give more meat to your listeners, so
Definitely, definitely. Wow, that was lovely to hear about the different hats that you wear, and you wear them so confidently. Wonderful. And yes, I did. In fact, I did come across your TED talk, and that's the place from where I started to gather more information about you. And it was very interesting to hear your views on how we ourselves, put ourselves down, thinking of our body shape and sizes. But I'm going to go straight to the
yes,
questions now. Um, Coming
yes,
from the
yes.
field of advertising, where perfect bodies and shapes sell, how do you end up deciding to work on breaking stereotypes of gender and body shapes?
So see, firstly, there are a lot of triggers which has led to our insecurities. So why do we feel a little less when we are not conventionally beautiful as defined by the society and media, right? So there has been a lot of cues that come from the fashion industry. You've seen only size zero models walk on the ramp. Fashion
Yes,
celebrates only models of a certain size. Similarly, there is advertising and there is television, there is web series now, there are films, there is Hollywood, there is Bollywood, which has always portrayed a very one type of narrow definition of what looks beautiful, right?
That's
Whether it
right.
is
Yes.
about your size, whether it is about your skin color, whether it is about your hair, or whether it is about how a person behaves. So if you are a woman, you're always shown in the kitchen in Indian television serials. You're always, looking after the family. You are the Tyak ki Murat, that goddess who always is sacrificing, whether it comes to a marriage, whether it comes to being a mother, whether it comes to becoming a daughter-in-law. So you are the one who is sacrificing. So I think these fields give me more inspiration to break stereotypes, because this is not how real life is, right? This is
Absolutely.
where somewhere where we have to tell people that you are Falguni, and Falguni is much more than the body that she is in, or the skin that she is in, or basically how she looks. So
Yeah.
do you want to reduce yourself to how you look, or do you want to grow more as a person? Do you want to evolve every day? And that is what should be the quest. And somewhere I think there have been brands, even in the advertising space now, who
Mhm.
have started saying that beauty can be of different types. For example, Dove,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And Dove talks about body insecurities early on, which is built up by a lot of societal, cultural pressure, media pressure, because
Yep.
this is what you see around you, right? So, for example, if you look at films, then there
Right.
is only a certain type of people looking like this who can become villains.
Right. Yes.
So your villains are disfigured. They are, black in color.
Yep.
They usually have very bad hair. They are like physically they look like those what should I say those wrestlers. So villain can only look certain type. Or for
Yep.
example, if you are a terrific actor, but let us say like me, you are fat, and I will not say fat is a bad
Yeah.
word, which I believe till my teenage age. It took me a lot of evolution to understand that it's just a body shape, it's describing a body type.
Yep.
But let us say if you're a terrific actor and if you are fat, then you will beg roles in films, but you will always be the actor's best friend, or
I
you'll be the
understand.
actor's sister. You'll never be the lead actor, because oh, lead actor needs to be thin, acting nahi
Yeah.
hoga to chalega, acting skills,
Yeah.
if they will have less, it's okay. So I
True.
think these are the fields which are telling us more to do more work at ground level, to reach out to more people through social media today, through, let us say, my classes today, where we have to continuously challenge, these beauty stereotypes and gender stereotypes. So these are the two areas where most of my work is, as far as my social media content is concerned. What I write, what I speak, what I do shows on, right? They are on gender equality and they are on body positivity. So I think these fields are giving me more and more motivation कि बहुत अभी कुछ करना है. There's too much to do, because, for example, our own conditioning. Just
Yeah.
think of your own conditioning. For me, it has taken me years to speak like this so confidently about who I am.
I
So I was
understand.
always talented. I was a double gold medalist. I was
Yep.
top ranking in the university. I was the first one to get a full-time job. I was the first one
Wow.
to buy my own car with my own money. So I had
Wow.
it all, but still somewhere the confidence was not there to speak, right? Where was the
Correct.
confidence lacking? Confidence was not lacking in the merit that I brought as a performer to
Right.
work, but confidence was lacking because somewhere in my mind, oh, I was fat, right?
Right.
Somewhere in
Right.
my mind, I was experimenting less because these clothes will not look good on me. I should not be wearing these clothes, or I should not be doing this hairstyle, because somewhere you suppress yourself,
I
right? When you are
understand.
bogged down by, societal and cultural stereotypes. So I think
Right.
being an advertising professor, I have more scope to change it. So
Right. Beautiful. And would you say that when we talk about body shaming, it's not only about being fat. Even if you're thin,
no,
there's a question that arises, isn't
no,
it?
that's why I changed when you introduced me, I changed, right? That I am using my social media handles to prove that even fat can be fashionable because I am fat. But when I talk about body positivity, it is much larger. It is about,
Right.
your insecurities related to how you look. It can be your height, it can be your weight, it can be your body shape, it can be your
Sure.
skin color. So for example, I'll give you a very normal, way of how people call very ultra thin people saying, "Tum to papad tol pehlwan ho."
Yeah.
You are as thin as a
Bilkul.
papad. So shaming happens from anywhere. So for
Yeah.
example, now black skin people are called that, oh, तुम्हारा अगर कलर गया तो पैसा वापस. How
Oh,
do you see
yes.
yourself in the dark? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's see, what is insensitive is insensitive, right?
True.
What is harming
Absolutely.
is harming, whether it is about fat or whether it is about tall or whether it is about short. So
Right.
yeah, it is body shaming encompasses shaming anybody for their body physique and how they look.
I understand. Wow, lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'll move on to the next question, and that is that as children, we are not aware of our body shapes and sizes. But as we grow, we tend to become conscious about our body image. Has it got something to do with the upbringing or the societal pressures that
Yes.
we go through as we grow up?
I think multiple factors. So your formative years will build up the upbringing part, which you are saying,
Hmm.
of because you are being brought up by your family, right? Your
Right.
parents, your grandparents. You see your aunts and uncles around. So in that social space, these people also have a very limited understanding of body positivity, and they also come from a very different set of conditioning, right? So they
Right.
also have a mental conditioning through which they are upbringing the child. So first factor is of course your formative years, your social, socialization process with your family, your teachers, your
Hmm.
school peer group, and that upbringing is definitely a contributing factor.
Sure.
More than that, adding to it is your media exposure. So you
Right.
start seeing television, you start seeing films, you start seeing, hoardings, you start reading. In fact, as a small kid, you start reading even children books, right? Like
Yes.
comic books, your animated, video books that you have right now. Everything is only pointing towards a Barbie imagery or a Disney princess, which
The
is
right
Elsa
shape.
and Elsa and Anna like look perfectly dressed all the time, right?
Yes.
Or you see this show on TV where this daughter-in-law is like spick and span, not even a wrinkle on her sari, even if she is getting up. So I think this is a very artificial view that we start developing early on, and as you
Yeah.
rightly said, it's multiple factors. It's not only your upbringing, it's also your media exposure and what is shown to you in the form of these constructs or definition of beauty.
Sure. Yes. Yes. So, you must have come across multiple cases of body shaming because you teach about this.
Of
So,
course.
how do you help those who have been affected by it? I mean, I'm sure it needs counseling and all, but as a professor, how do you help?
So I don't do counseling. Let me put it out
Okay.
clearly. And I think as a professor, I do not help there, but
Okay.
I help tons of people in the same area
Okay.
on social media, right? So to my students, I think I give confidence by walking the talk, okay?
Lovely.
By being confident, by wearing whatever I want to. So say for example, there are also stereotypical codes related to my profession, right? That a
Okay.
professor cannot look glamorous. A professor
Yes.
cannot wear a purple lipstick. A professor cannot wear big earrings, statement earrings, and come to work.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will look as if you're not intelligent enough or you're not academically,
Oh, how
stimulating. So
unfortunate
by
is that?
breaking
Yes.
those stereotypes
Yeah.
and by just being me, see, because somewhere I think people need to understand that
Yeah.
if you can just be yourself, it's a superpower, right?
Right.
So say
Right.
for example, if I love fashion, but I'll not do it at work just because I have to be seen as a socially correct definition of a professor. Who
Yeah.
made that definition? I have no idea, right? In
Yeah.
fact, I was reading this whole history of the word power dressing for one
Okay.
of my posts that I was creating for Instagram. Power
Okay.
dressing as a concept came into picture when, for the first time in the history of mankind, women started working in male dominated jobs. And hence, to look powerful, they had to move away from that doll image and they had to
Right.
come in power suits to work, right?
Okay.
So the pant and the shirt and the jacket over it, which is called as
Yeah.
power dressing in the normal
The
sense,
professional
came
dressing, yes.
from that, Victorian era. Okay. So
Okay.
today, for example, you have all the right to redefine that power dressing as a sari, for example, right?
Lovely.
You have
Right.
all the right to redefine that power dressing as a pencil skirt and a top, for example,
Sure.
because it started as a movement to make women be seen seriously by
Yeah.
their male counterparts at work.
Mhm.
Now we moved ahead 80 years after that concept came up.
Yeah.
And today we are asking for equal representation, gender pay parity structures, right? But we understand that our dressing can
Yeah.
be as powerful as we want it to be. So I think at work for my students, I think I would be doing a good job by walking the talk and doing what
Absolutely.
I keep saying. Okay.
Yes.
But the shaming part that you said
Yeah.
comes up a lot on my social media. There are people who are my ardent followers and almost like fans and family. They keep writing
Lovely.
to me. This uncle told me this. This random shopkeeper, commented on my body, or somebody made a joke about, how I look, and I don't feel good about it. Or
Yeah.
my young son has just got spectacles, and at school he's getting bullied because of
Yeah.
the chashma that he's wearing to school. So I think I use those forums a lot to do one-on-one counseling, to tell them how to get
Stand up for
back, or to tell
themselves.
them how to let your confidence speak. Don't even react. Make
Right.
yourself so confident that your confident walks in the room before you walk.
Lovely.
Okay. So yeah. And I think they believe me because I have gone through a journey, right? I also tell
Sure.
them that nobody is born so confident.
Yeah.
So even I was body shy, I was body conscious at some point in time. I did
Right.
not wear Western clothes. Now I wear. So there also see you to exemplify, you to demonstrate. Otherwise, it will all look very preachy.
Right.
But
It's
because
preachy.
I see that confidence in me in carrying any attire on earth today, I think they
Right.
get more convinced also. But I do a lot of one-on-one discussion across
Wonderful.
social media. You're right.
Lovely. So, what do you think influences body shaming? I do
I think
understand your
our
stand.
biases,
Sorry.
yeah, I think our biases and our mental conditioning of how things should be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so for example, we have since years. Let me go a little ahead of body shaming, but let me talk about the second position that I look at, gender equality.
Mm-hmm.
So since years we have thought that women cannot be bossy
Yeah.
or dominating,
Yes.
right? So when you are a bossy woman, when you are a dominating woman, when you have a mind of your own, when you want to take your own decisions, you are deemed as bossy. Now the same qualities, if they are present in a man, it will be, oh, he's a very good leader,
Right.
he has leadership skills. So
Yes.
somewhere I think why people body shame is because of their narrow exposure to the world. They have not well traveled, they have not read books, they've not seen people beyond their bodies. I think their own thinking is very narrow. So in fact, because of the mental conditioning and limited exposure, okay.
Yeah.
So in fact, if I go back to your earlier question, the
Yeah.
one thing which I tell to all my followers who come crying in my inbox saying that I'm hot, how could they shame me for my body? I said, change the narrative. Rather than being angry, they are still stuck in 1940 somewhere. They are still not free of
So
all these
change the narrative.
biases. And yeah, so I said, change the narrative. Don't get angry with your body shamers. Pity them, Ki bechare,
Wow.
poor people, how sad. They've still not moved on in life, they have so much to learn. Right?
Or
There's so much scope to, be better, but they're still stuck in a stone age.
wow.
So I think it's basically people shame because of their own insecurities and narrow vision towards life and
Oh
how
my
living
goodness.
happens.
This is so well answered, really. Beautiful. So how do you educate people to rather admire different body shapes? I do understand that you speak to people through Instagram and through social media, but
Yeah.
how do you educate them? Because telling them that be confident about yourself is one thing, and educating them is
Yeah.
something different. Yeah.
Yes. So I think I logically try to explain by writing about it. Okay. I write a lot about how these, narrative of how what makes up a beauty, or how this media industry is impacting, your notion of what makes somebody beautiful, how the definition is very narrow, how we all are very different people, how
Yeah.
different shapes and sizes does not matter, but what are the different talent and
Yeah.
value that you bring to on table, whether it is your family, or whether it is your work, or whether it is any other environment where you're contributing, right? How evolution is important as a human being. Not everybody is born as a globetrotter, no, not everybody.
Absolutely.
And not everybody is born to become a CEO one day. You become a CEO, it's a gradual process, it's a journey where you will have to go back and tell your own parents that sorry, but I think you were wrong here. And
Mm.
even if you cannot tell your parents, I think you have to tell yourself that
Yeah.
this is some of the mistakes that I made early on. Say, I'll tell you, for example,
Yeah.
when I did not know about body positivity and I was not as evolved as I am right now, even I have laughed on people and their skin color. So
I
there should not
understand.
be any shame in accepting that. Okay, you have to accept that at some point in time, even you were narrow, but the leap of faith happens when you change
Yeah.
the whole dimension, you evolve, you unlearn, you learn
Yep.
new things, you respect, even if it's coming from a younger age
Yep.
group who are telling you better way of looking at things, you're a learner, basically the learner's
Yes.
mindset. So I think I think that's my added advantage, because I'm a teacher. I think
Yeah.
I can educate people well. Okay. So
Absolutely sure. Yes, of
so
course.
so without sounding preachy, or
Yep.
forcing it upon them, I
Mhm.
try to simplify the whole understanding a lot. And for example,
Mhm.
yesterday I did this video on how we need to, as women, need to claim our space in the social structure, because however modern we are still
Mhm.
not equal. That's a fact, right?
Yes, we're not.
So how do I now explain? Okay. So I
Mhm.
tell people that everybody cannot be radical and, separate from abusive relationships, or fight with family members, or suddenly they'll
Right.
think now I'll start earning. They cannot, right? There are
Yeah.
homemakers, there are working women. But I said, can you claim your space by taking baby steps? For example,
Mhm.
if there are leftovers in the house, why should you be the only one eating it? Why can't you share it with the whole family and say that this curry is, kafi bach gayi hai, all five of us will equally distribute it, and there will be a new curry which will be made, which will
Right.
also be equally distributed for all. Now this is very doable, don't you think so? Right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I go down to their level and I don't tell them to be radical. So see, I do understand homemakers overnight cannot one day decide I will do
Yeah.
full-time job. Now 20 years say they have been managing the home, their
Yeah.
skills have got rusted, their degrees are not relevant anymore. So I tell them, can you start taking one tuition of a fourth standard kid? That
Wow.
1000 rupees which you will earn is your earning, and more
Yes.
than the money, it prepares you with the confidence that tomorrow if things go bad
I
and
can
things come in
manage.
your hand, you'll be able to earn. When you
Lovely.
can do one tuition, you can do 12, no, if
Yes.
things go worse. Or for example, I did one post where I asked all homemakers how much do they know about A, banking, and B, family investments and savings. I
Yes.
said, this is your homework. I says, this is empowerment. Because you have been a homemaker does not mean that you are going to die first. What happens if your husband dies first?
Yeah.
Are you aware where your savings are? Do you know his investments? Do you know where the bank accounts are? Do you know the
Wow.
fixed deposits? Do you know PPF account? Do you know where he is doing his tax planning?
Mm.
So are you getting my point? So
I
I
am.
somewhere come down to their level and talk, because see, otherwise I'll tell you, it looks like somebody speaking from the ivory tower. Okay,
Mm.
it looks very nice. It's good to hear,
Sure.
but there's nothing
Practically,
I
maybe
can
not.
take away from this. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I tell women around that, you know, you have to learn driving, whether driving a scooter or a car, because that's your freedom. So if you have to go and visit your mother, you are not dependent on your husband or your son or your daughter or a public transport to drive you,
Yeah.
because most of the times they'll say, we are not free, we are busy, we have friends to go to.
Yeah.
Your husband will say, we will shift it to next week, you know, abhi mera meeting hai. But if you're not driving, you can go there and then, no?
Yeah. Sure. But
So making people understand these small things, like, you know, driving is not for anything else. It's for your independence and your freedom of operating in your own lives.
right.
So, yeah.